My name is Lonny Schraeder, and I am from Fort Collins, Colorado, and I am the head football coach at Sacred Heart Catholic School. And I came down here in the fall of 1981. I guess I had a dream to maybe try to walk on and play football again, and I had a ROTC scholarship, and I could do that here at Southern. Met a lot of people, met a lot of friends, and the night before school was about to start, we were at a birthday party for a friend on 4th Street at Lonny Schraeder Apartments, right back there behind Pete Taylor Park. And I was with a girl named Charlotte Pizarich, and I was walking her back home, and I can remember being in the parking lot from Lonny Schraeder, and then the next thing I knew, I was laying on the ground, face down on the ground, and I couldn't figure out how I got there. I thought, well, I've been in a car wreck, but I didn't remember getting in a car. What had happened, as we were walking across the street, we got hit by a drunk driver. When they came up to me, they thought there was two people wedged up underneath the car, because they saw me, they saw my upper body, and they saw 2 feet laying on my back. It was my feet. My legs were shattered, but they were still attached to me, but they were laying on my back. They take me into surgery. My mom and dad get the call that every parent dreads. Colonel Schraeder, your son's been in an accident. We don't know if he's going to make it, and so y'all better come. So I'm going in and out of surgery. Every time I'm awake, I ask people, what happened to Charlotte, and nobody can tell me, and or no one will tell me. I remember looking up and seeing my dad walk in the door, and I said, "Dad, there was with a girl named Charlotte. I don't know what happened to her." And he just shook his head and said, "Son, she's dead." 4 days after the accident, I got gangrene in my left leg. I lost my left leg 3 inches below the knee. 7 days after that, they thought they were going to be able to save my right leg. I lost my right leg 7 inches below the knee. There's never been a time in my life when I didn't know about Jesus Christ. And when they were nailing him on a cross, he was begging God to forgive them for what they were doing, but I couldn't let go of it. So there's this physical battle. My body is working overtime to heal, and there's a spiritual battle, knowing that I had to forgive this guy and move on. And Father Pat walks in, and I looked at him. I said, "Father Pat, you know Fred, who was the guy that hit us?" And he said, "Yeah." And I said, "Well, just tell him I forgive him." And a peace that passes all understanding pass over me. That's what the Bible says. And I've had it 36 years. So got my first legs about 6 months after the accident. I wore them out in 2 months. Got another pair of legs, and by the grace of God, I was back at Southern the next school year. I always knew that I was going to come back. My goal was to get back to school as quick as I could and get on with my life. When you have a disability, you just find a way to get around it. So let that what's happened to you define you. And my faith in God has gotten me through this. It's gotten my family through a lot of hard times. If I have an impact on somebody's life, to me that's eternal. Every day you gotta show up. You gotta show up and do your best and just treat everybody with respect and keep going.